with Intel authorities at the same time. So he blended Title 10 and Title 50. None of the other service component commanders did that. And that's why, time and time again, when you hear General Alexander talk about his components, he will say the Navy got this right. So that's the first piece of it. The second piece is the Navy's the only one that's invested in people, and while the platform is the network, the people, like every other thing that we do in the Navy, is what makes this platform go. So starting in program year 8, we bought about 400 billets, 350 to 400 billets. We did that for 3 years. None of the other services have made those fundamental investments for sailors to go work on cyber-specific jobs, both to attack and defend. You know, if you read the press, you know there's a lot of call for a lot more of those people. That's going to be difficult to do in a downsizing environment, but the Navy has, you know, over 3 years in a row, we invested in about 1,000 people to do this. And the command structure with a global command and control structure that works for that under 10th Fleet, I think has us in great shape to do this. Sir?
What would you say would be your biggest challenge in the next few years of facing information cybersecurity?
Biggest challenge was the question. So for my current job, I'll put that in that perspective, if that's the sense that you mean it. As a programmer, I think the most important word in my title is integration, and that's the piece that I really need to focus on. I had a group working on PCPED, but they weren't talking to the guys that were developing the sensors. And I think the two have to go together. I think the guys that operate on MANs have to be talking to the individuals that are programming for bandwidth. I think the group that are working with bandwidth have to be working with the guys that are doing data center consolidation. These things all go together, but like a lot of things in our platform world, we drifted off that we do a really healthy program here, but it doesn't have the healthy connection to the program that's very important for it to succeed, or its product to allow the next program to succeed. So the integration piece. I think the second piece is where the Navy goes with unmanned. We spent a lot of time looking at the actual platforms. I think we've got to do a lot to think about the sensors. The sensors are really the mission set that go with that, and you know, we got to start. The Navy operates a lot of UUVs, undersea unmanned vehicles, unmanned undersea vehicles. We do it to sample the environment for the most part, but there's a really, the sky's the limit in terms of what you can do in ASW, anti-mine warfare, probably cyber as we continue to go along. But most of the science is going into not the sensor, the vehicle. And so we've got to balance that to get people thinking about the sensors. But really for two reasons. If the sensor comes after, I'm going to be in a position where I'm going to collect more information than I can move. I'm going to have information in place that I can't move it to if I'm thinking about a lot of these. So I really tend to think about these as machines, and the sensor is really what I'm interested in. Where we are with UAVs right now, I'm collecting a minute of video. It takes me 2 minutes to move it off the airplane. That doesn't make sense. So what can I build into that sensor in terms of artificial intelligence? And that word makes a lot of us squeamish for some reason, but that's how we have to think about this. So that sensor is doing a job to discriminate in one way or another to be able to decide when to collect, what to collect. A simpler way to say it is I want a TiVo on that airplane. I just don't want a camera. And then I think the last piece is modernizing the networks and getting to the next generation of networks. Even with NGen and Kane's pretty well funded and things that we didn't touch going through this cycle, the pace of modernization with IT technology is daunting when you're trying to keep up with it programmatically. So I worry a lot that, you know, even though I'm modernizing right now, I'm really only modernizing to the 2009 or 2010 level. And that's going to be one of the things. So how do we infuse new technology into Engine when the first task on my plate is just buying back in and see how? That they're almost mutually exclusive when I think about them like that. So I've got to figure out how to merge those two thoughts together. So modernization and getting the program under control at the same time is going to be a challenge. So those are the three things that keep me awake. Now I'm really tired to go home. So that help? Sir, yeah.
Well, actually, during the Cold War, we knew that our threat was the Soviet Union. Who is our threat now? And how do you determine who's the threat? Is it like a submarine that makes a certain sound, it makes a certain signal? How do you know who's our threat?
So, in general, I'm not going to talk about the countries, because if I do, I get classified wrong pretty quick. But anything that happens on the network is going to leave a signature behind in one way or another. I mean, the stealthiest, the best operators can erase their tracks, and there's no way. You rarely find those. There's a signature associated with whatever exploit that is used to get through a defense. That's why we all have antivirus. That's why when you look at a capability like Einstein that's using signature-based defenses, it's just moving it out to the very edge of the network instead of at the desktop level that you have. I think the challenge going forward as you get to cloud structures is how we're going to think about defending the cloud, because these signature based defenses probably won't work within there. So we've got to have some different kind of authentication method that you authenticate to the network differently than we have done it to date. I don't really know what that is. This is when I fall back and say, look at my bio, I was the political science major, not the computer science major. But I think it's probably going to be inside of personal technologies that you and I have to use to authenticate ourselves to the network will be how we differentiate ourselves from the bad guy on the network in much more robust ways than our 8, 11, 14 character passwords that you and I have been subjected to over the last several years. Okay, thanks. Tim, am I done?
Time for one more.
Okay, thanks very much.
Well, thank you, Admiral Leigher, for enlightening us on the challenges you face every day and a little bit about where the Navy's going. Just have to have a paid advertisement here at the end. If you're a member, thank you for joining our organization and being a part of it. If you're not a member, I ask you to think about things that are under attack every day, just like Admiral Leigher talked about the internet. Your benefits, your retirement plans, they're under attack every day, and AUSN is on the Hill every day advocating to protect those benefits. So I look at a midshipman sitting in the room here. He's potentially going to have a very different retirement plan than the rest of us in the room. And just want you to keep that in mind. It's not just about us, it's about those that are serving behind us. And we're there every day. We get our strength from the number of members we have, and also being a part of the Military Coalition and the National Military Veterans Alliance. So please consider that. Again, I want to thank our corporate sponsors who made this possible today. Vet Jobs, Khaki, Lockheed Martin, Booz Allen Hamilton, and DRS Technologies. Without their support, we wouldn't be able to do this. If you're out there from industry and you're not already a corporate partner, I encourage you to talk to Kenny Houston and consider joining our corporate partnership program. And then for everyone, please make sure you take the binder with you today, the folder. It's got a lot of good information in it, and Kenya doesn't want to carry them home with her. So again, thank you for coming. I look forward to seeing you at the next event we have. and enjoy, drive safe on the way home.